Hi, I'm Gil Fulbright. The people that run my campaign, they've made this commercial, and I'm in it.
Police now know that Clay Duke had planned the attack at the school board building for some time. In his trailer, they found yesterday's date circled on a calendar. Now, a word of caution. Some of the following video may be disturbing.
School Board Policy 7.3.
From the moment Clay Duke spray painted a V on the wall, people in the room sensed something ugly was about to happen. Then the ex-con startled a routine meeting of the Bay District School Board again with a pistol.
Everybody in this room hit the road.
It was a 9mm, but it became a bazooka because that's where we looked at it.
Duke cleared the room of everyone except the male members of the board. But watch Ginger Littleton, the only female board member, snuck back in and behind Duke and swatted at his gun with her purse.
You serious?
I don't think anything was going through my mind except for the fact that these guys were sitting ducks.
I don't believe you.
Duke pointed his gun at Littleton's head, but never fired. Today, knowing she cheated death, she made light of it.
Oh yes, this is the purse. Shall I do my Vanna?
We're going to put some bricks in it for her.
I have 3 wonderful daughters, and they said, "Mom, are you just stupid? What were you thinking?"
Mom, are you just stupid? What were you thinking?
Mom, are you just stupid? What were you thinking?
Mom, are you just stupid? What were you thinking?
This campaign, it's not about me. It's about crafting a version of me that'll appeal to you. A version that visits random work sites with paid actors.
I witnessed the Gabrielle Gifford shooting in 2011. I didn't see it right as it happened. I heard it and turned and looked. I was pretty far away, but what I saw was, I'm still trying to process that. As much as I talk about disinformation and government conspiracies, when it came to that, I didn't even want to speak my opinion until I was absolutely sure about what I thought. She was holding one of her talk to the people moments in front of the Safeway. And it was announced that she was going to do it, and there was a big crowd there. And people in Arizona loved her. I mean, she had a lot of fans. But still, what I know about it is that there were no bullet holes.
What I know about it is that there were no bullet holes.
None. They had the Safeway parking lot yellow taped off for a week. The idea of roping it off all the time, I didn't understand that. But then I thought about it. There wasn't a single bullet mark, hole on anything. That kid was firing off, and what I saw was the guy who tackled him was a dangerous person. He was so fast and he was so good at getting him on the ground, it happened like that. It was amazing. It was dangerous. I mean, a skilled person. So skilled, it looked orchestrated. So skilled, it looked orchestrated. One of the giveaways was the little girl, they said, was born on 9/11.
Another development on Saturday, New York officials revealed at a news conference here in the city that a hijacker's passport was found blocks from the World Trade Center crash site, if you can believe that.
A crash site, if you can believe that.
I mean, sure, those kinds of coincidences can happen, but like 9/11, 2001. I think what I witnessed was theater. It looked like choreography, like a dance, like everybody just fell at the same time, like on cue.
A version of me that doesn't find old people loathsome or pointless. Has a conventionally attractive yet curiously still family. Listening to my constituents, legislating, these are things I don't do. What I do is spend about 70% of my time raising funds for re-election.
captured on cell phone video the chilling moment that rapid gunfire broke out in Alexandria this morning.
Shots being fired, and there are people running, possibly victims involved.
An all-out gun battle as Capitol Hill police and Alexandria officers engaged a lone gunman, 66-year-old James Hutchinson, targeting Republican members of Congress who were practicing for a charity baseball game.
We need medics. We got a suspect right by the baseball field in front of the YMCA. There's also a victim down in the baseball field.
Among the first to be hit, Republican whip Steve Scalise.
He's dragged himself from the dirt infield to the grass outfield. There's a trail of blood. We can't help him. We're helping.
If you can believe that.
Scalise's security detail and the Capitol Hill Police immediately began to return fire.
If you can believe that.
The gunman armed with a semi-automatic assault weapon and a handgun.
He was crouched behind a wooden piece of the stands, and he had a AK-47.
I don't believe you.
They've been telling lies. Watching how I move, watching how I move. I've been keeping track now. Watch out for the snakes.
Allison Parker's boyfriend, Chris Hurst, is a news anchor at the station and joins us this morning. Chris, thank you so much. And first, you and your colleagues at WDBJ and her family are in our prayers this morning.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I had not been able to hear her voice until I just heard it in my ear just now since yesterday, and I miss her voice, and everyone in this community got to hear it nearly every single day, and now they can, except in memory.
Chris, what are you holding there?
This was something that was made by Allison for me, that was personal for us. We only had 9 months together, but I can tell you guys it was a white-hot relationship that burned full of love. We were betrothed to each other. We were going to get married.
Do you realize how stupid you sound?
2017, 2 years after the shooting, Hurst decided to leave his job at the station. He entered politics, running for state delegate in Virginia's 12th House District.
Hi, I'm Chris Hurst. I'm running for delegate.
See your picture. Now, the new documentary called Virginia 12 follows Hurst's grassroots campaign.
I had it in the back of my head of trying to do something larger than myself in response to what happened to me and to Allison, but also as a way of publicly showing people that, you don't have to let grief and tragedy and the random obscenity of life just tear you down.
The documentary gives viewers a front row seat on Election Day as the results came in. A win for Hurst.
Chris Hurst is with us this morning. Good to see you, buddy. Thanks for coming in.
Yeah, good to be with you.
You went back to work 2 weeks after Allison was killed. At what point did you realize, I can't do this anymore? I can't be a TV news anchor.
I think it was pretty soon afterward. I knew that I needed to make some kind of transition, but it really became when I started having to cover mass shootings and go live on the scene again and continue to relive what happened to Allison and what happened to Adam, and even using the same live truck that they were using.
Confucius say, I do not think this story had much validity. I don't think we're going to use that one.
Hey, by the way, we should note here, you're with us this morning, but This isn't your debut on the Today Show. Yes. We've got some great friends in archives, and they managed to pull up this little doozy. Do you remember this?
Oh, my goodness.
We can't identify which one Chris Hurst is.
I'm right there in the back, right there.
Oh, there you are.
You can see me
with
my mouth open and the glasses. Yeah.
They've been telling lies. Watching how I move, watching how I move.
On December 14th, 2012, a shooter entered my brother's classroom and fired bullets until the gun jammed. In that fleeting moment, Jesse yelled for his classmates to run, while he stayed behind to defend his teacher. 9 of his friends ran. Jesse is credited with saving 9 lives. I share this story because I believe that inside every single one of us is that same innate courage we never even knew we had to do something extraordinary. And to honor Jesse, I've decided to be courageous enough to run for state senate in my home state of Connecticut.
I've been keeping track now. Watch out for the snakes. Watch out for the snakes.
Well, in 2017, a gunman stormed the First Baptist Church in Sutherland Springs, Texas, killing 26 people in what would be the deadliest shooting at a house of worship in U.S. history.
One of the victims was 14-year-old Annabelle Pomeroy. Her father, the church's pastor, Frank Pomeroy, was out of town that day. Now he's running as a Republican for a Texas state Senate seat. Pastor, why do you want to run for Senate in Texas?
You know, there's many reasons why I would run. I think the catalyst that really put me into the race was after our El Paso shooting and the Dayton shooting, the humanity aspect of that situation was lost, I think, when I was watching what was transpiring. Rather than those who had a voice to be able to go in and set a foundation of healing, such as we did in Sutherland Springs, and talking points were brought up that I think should have been put to the side for a week or two and concentrate on the people rather than being reelected or elected, as some of those with that voice was trying to do. Mm-hmm. And I thought we need to make government be for the people again, and that the people need to realize that they're important to us, not just for votes, but that we care about you. We want you to grow up in a society where you don't have to be living in fear. Mm-hmm. There's more to life than just existing. We should be able to live with joy and have fun.
Mr. Pomeroy, you mentioned talking points that you thought should be left aside for at least a couple of weeks so you could bring humanity back to a community that was a victim of shootings. Can you talk about a little bit what you're referring to in terms of those talking points?
Well, such as immediately thereafter, rather than going in and speaking mercy and grace and loving on these people, it immediately went to the talking point of the inanimate object. Oh, we have to have gun control. And they went to speaking about the guns in America, mm-hmm. rather than healing the local people of that area. Now, there are people there who are going in and trying to help, but that first couple of weeks was imperative to set a foundation of healing.
Telling lies, they've been telling lies. Watching how I move, watching how I move. I've been keeping track now. Watch out for the snakes. Watch out for the snakes. Yeah, watch out for the snakes. Watch out for the snakes. Yeah, watch out for the copying what I do every time. They want to take what's mine. They busy faking and telling me lies.
Man, it really doesn't get you much sicker than this. I mean, when you look at this and you think about what has happened, and you think about the lives of Robert Ussery and Jody Mann, as they were basically locked away and thrown away because they were part of this. And now we have the hero. He plans to run for office. Oh my goodness, where have we seen this guy before? So, not only did he save the day in Sutherland Springs, now he's running for office. They've given him some sort of office. Stephen Williford and a guest walk up onto the stage, yeah, I remember this point, at the NRA Institute for Legislative Action Leadership Forum in Dallas, Friday, May 4th, 2018. Williford, who grabbed his rifle and ran barefoot across the street to open fire on a gunman who slaughtered 26 people in a church in the small town of Sutherland Springs. I don't want to get into any more of this, but this is how sick the world is, guys. It is sick.
Telling lies, they've been telling lies. Watching how I move, watching how I move. I've been keeping track now. Watch out for the snakes. Watch out for the snakes. Yeah, watch out for the snakes. Watch out for the snakes. Yeah, watch out for the copying what I do every time.
Listening to my constituents, legislating, these are things I don't do. What I do is spend about 70% of my time raising funds for re-election. I'd do anything to stay in office. My name's Gil Fulbright, but hell, I'll change my name to Phil Goldbright or Bill Fulbright or fill up my mouth with farts. These are the things that are important to me. And these are the fine people that finance my campaign. Now, in order to do these things, I have to stay in office. And to stay in office, I have to keep these guys happy. Now, if any of these things make these guys unhappy, well, my hands are tied. So come November, the choice is clear. Do you want another spineless mouthpiece for special interest and lobbyists, or a spineless mouthpiece for special interest and lobbyists? I'm Philip, a mouth with farts, and I approve this message.
Telling lies. Watching how I move, watching how I move. I've been keeping track now. Watch out for the snakes. Watch out for the snakes.